Welcome back, focused learners. Let's jump right in. Today we're opening up a completely fascinating chapter in our esoteric study with this step-by-step explainer on the Sephirah Netzach. If you've ever looked at these complex occult systems and thought, wow, this is just way too abstract, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to take this really deep, mystical concept from the Kabbalistic tree of life and transform it into a highly digestible, totally actionable handbook. We're looking at how Netzach acts as the ultimate master of emotional reality. And honestly, understanding its mechanics, it can completely shift the way you process your everyday experiences. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start with Netzach's place on the tree, cover its symbols and key aspects, and then get into the emissaries, basically managing the branches of your future. After that, we'll hit emotional filters, material anchors, and practice, and finally, how to actually integrate all of this into your daily life.
All right, Section 1, Netzach's place on the tree.
Okay, let's dive into this map. Scanning down the right side of the tree of life, that's the pillar of mercy, you're going to find Netzach sitting as the 7th point overall, right down there in the lower right. Locating it here immediately pulls us out of abstract mysticism and into a solid structured framework. Netzach literally translates to victory or instinct. It's this fundamental emanation representing the divine beauty of inner perfection. Think of it as your gateway to the astral plane and the realm of thought forms that actually shape our future.
Now, to really grasp what Netzach is, it actually helps to look at what it isn't. So let's compare it to its direct counterpart on the opposite side of the tree, Hod. Where Hod is all about rigid intellect, logic, structure, and law, Netzach is the exact opposite. It's fluid, it's driven by pure instinct, raw emotion, and honestly, creative chaos. Hod writes the rules, sure, but Netzach provides the passionate fuel that actually brings those rules to life. It's basically the difference between a meticulously written musical score on paper and the raw, emotionally charged, sweat-dripping performance of that exact same music on stage.
Moving on to Section 2, Symbols and Key Aspects.
When we look at the specific domain of Netzach, we're talking about the realm of emotions, feelings, action, and eternity. It's all about stamina, sudden impulses, those deep-seated instincts, and pure inspiration. But I want you to notice the inclusion of the word tension here. This is absolutely crucial. Netzach isn't just, passive daydreaming. It's the highly active realm of the collective unconscious and raw creative tension. It's literally the friction that forces an abstract concept to start moving toward physical reality.
And this brilliantly illustrates how Netzach connects to our actual human experience. Looking at the different types of magic associated with each Sephirah, Netzach points directly to the magic of synchronicities and signs. This bridges the gap perfectly between high, lofty Kabbalistic concepts and what happens to us on a random Tuesday. You know when you experience those deeply meaningful coincidences, those moments where your internal emotional state seems to just magically align with external events. Yeah, that is the exact frequency of Netzach at play.
Section 3, Emissaries Managing the Branches of the Future.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how these visual elements map out the specific intelligence of Netzach. Alongside the main sigil of the Sephirah and the seal of its ruler Henyal, we've got these 3 distinct geometric patterns. These are the sigils of the 3 emissaries, Nimaz, Tzahath, and Hadahatz. And we shouldn't view them just as abstract spirits, but as highly conscious, deliberate architects of your future.
These emissaries act as spiritual seers or lords of the spirit. And their function? It's crystal clear. They absolutely do not use logic to solve problems. Instead, they manipulate the raw energy of feelings, the collective unconscious, and the canvas of future probabilities. They heal souls, but the way they do it is by forcing a system out of stagnation and into absolute triumph, specifically through emotional catharsis. They're like quantum weavers, literally preparing the fertile ground for your most successful future timelines.
So, let's break down how this actually becomes an actionable process. There is a distinct algorithm of Netzach driven by these 3 emissaries. Step 1 is the void, guided by Nimazith. This step requires stopping your desperate need to control everything and letting old programs just zero out. Step 2 is catharsis, guided by Tazah. This is the painful but incredibly necessary release of your illusions and old pain. And step 3 is the leap, guided by Hatzahatz. This is that massive breakthrough realization where your intuition and your will synchronize, accelerating time to manifest your goal. Think of these guides operating almost like Hollywood directors, taking your life's movie script, ripping up a painful ending, and rewriting it into a triumphant future.
Section 4, Adjusting Emotional Filters.
The energy of Netzach absolutely demands that we examine our emotional filters. These are the inner illusions, the fears, and those false hopes that totally cloud our perception. They are the mental garbage preventing us from seeing our true future probabilities. So I'm going to ask you directly right now, what internal illusions, or maybe outdated comforts, are you holding on to that are currently bottlenecking your future success? Because let me tell you, Netzach will not let you take those with you.
To really harness this fear, you have to adjust your personal boundaries. It requires facing those fears head-on and taming our wild internal instincts. It involves a radical zeroing, demanding the sheer bravery to sacrifice our fragile ego in exchange for genuine, expansive cosmic freedom. Netzach forces you to look straight at your shadow, not to destroy you, no, but to wash away the psychological blocks that keep you trapped in a loop of stagnation.
Section 5. Material Anchors and Practice.
So the million-dollar question is, how do you actually tune into the frequency of Netzach in your day-to-day life? How do we take these esoteric, quantum-weaving emissaries and pull their influence right down into our physical, waking world?
Well, there are several material anchors you can use. First off, start actively tracking synchronicities and signs. Literally, keep a journal of those meaningful coincidences. Next, utilize the elements associated with the emissaries, which are primarily water and earth. This could mean highly conscious engagement with nature, like finding places of power outdoors to just sit and observe. You can also intentionally charge physical objects. Think of a talisman or a favorite piece of jewelry. Charge it with a specific emotional intention and use it as a tangible anchor to snap your emotional reality back into place whenever you look at it or touch it.
Section 6. Integration into daily life.
Pulling directly from that algorithm of Netzach we talked about earlier, here's a super brief, totally accessible emotion awareness meditation you can use right now. Step 1, sit in the void. Just pause all your immediate reactions to whatever stressful situation you're in. Relinquish the control. Step 2, observe the catharsis. Allow yourself to actually feel the disappointment or pain of your current illusions and consciously decide right then and there to let them go. Step 3, feel the leap. Once you are completely empty, vividly imagine your desired, triumphant future. Synchronize your intuition with that feeling of victory and allow that powerful energy to just pull you forward.
To summarize our deep dive today, applying the principles of Netzach totally transforms you. It gives you the power to stop being a passive victim of your own stagnant emotional patterns. Instead, you become a conscious, victorious architect of your own destiny. You use this sphere as a precision instrument to correct your personal beliefs and literally weave a triumphant reality right out of the quantum field. I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful quote from the source material. The emissaries of Netzach are the engine of evolution, running on the fuel of human emotions, faith, and hope. Your emotions, they aren't just random reactions to the world. They are the literal fuel of your evolution. So what kind of future are you choosing to fuel today? Think about that as you go forward. Thanks for learning with us, and keep exploring.